Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Junette Lewis Show. This is your host, Junette Lewis. And look, you know I always bring you educational, motivational, inspirational type content. And today is no different. One of the things I want from my show is that when you're finished watching my show, you should walk away going, and it makes a difference in your life. Today, I've got a guest that is a life changer. So call your mom, call your brother, call your sister, call your friend, the one that you really do like that you want to be successful with, call that friend because today I've got somebody that's going to be a life changer in your life. My guest today is a investor, but he's a real estate and land investor. And he's told me some fantastic things about the reason why all of us should own a piece of land. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Freddie Mitchell. Mr.
Thank you.
Freddie, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, 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 yes. Look, you know I had to have you on the show because, as I said, my goal is to educate my audience. I want you to come away from this show not just hearing gossip and hearing negative things. I want you to hear positive things. So that's the reason I have my guests on the show. Mr. Freddie, I want you to tell my guests a little bit about yourself and then we'll get into the questions. Tell my audience.
Okay, well, first of all, I was licensed in real estate in 81. I wanted to educate people in the world of real estate. I went on to get life license and annuity license and health license. And then I went into the investment arena and I wanted to really educate in the investment arena. So I went on to get my Series 6 license, which allowed me to write investment vehicles. And then I wanted to be able to write all over the United States. So I went on to get the 63 license. And then I moved up to another level where I had to approve different funds for individuals. So I had to go out and get a principal's license. And being in financial services and understanding the importance of building an effective portfolio, I own two mortgage companies, one in Lakeland and one in St. Petersburg. So that was part of that. And then another one of my partners, we went on and we started a premium finance company that allowed us to get into the automobile industry. So just a vast amount of knowledge and licensing and helping people out.
And helping people out. That's the key word. When I met Mr. Freddie, I met you at a meeting and he started talking about all of the various things about owning land. And one of the things that struck me immediately, he said, you know, they encourage you to get your master's, your PhD, and all of those things. And yes, you go on and you're able to earn higher incomes. But most of the times people don't think about owning land and owning several properties. And that truly strikes something with me because I know several people that are in that category that don't own a lot of things. And for that particular reason, I wanted to share that with you. Mr. Freddie, I'm going to ask you this one question. Can you describe your overall investment strategies?
Yes, absolutely. Our overall strategy is based on the small business owner. And I intentionally say business owner versus saying entrepreneur
Right.
because I want them to really see themselves as a business person. So we have in our office, we have what we call IBOs, independent business owners. And with that, it starts us off with helping them to get the type of funding they need in order to roll into our next component, which is property acquisition. So the majority of the time, they are purchasing their properties not with their own personal credit, not with their own personal money, but they're utilizing the small business strategy to purchase the different investment properties.
Mr. Freddie, you said something, and that's a mouthful. And I don't think you guys might have heard that clearly. He just said you're purchasing properties without your own money. So, yes, if you're broke, let's face it, your credit is bad, let's face it, you can still own property by property acquisition.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's a major thing.
You
Now, how, for the people that want to go through property acquisition, how do you help them identify the type of properties that they need to purchase?
It's based on in our training, and we teach that. It's based on percentages, and those percentages is based on each individual IBO, based on where your credit is if I need to use your credit, we have vehicles we can use your credit. If we don't, if your credit is not where it needs to be, then we're gonna go another investment route to be able to get you the property. That's my main goal is for you to show up and be there, and then I'm gonna share with you the types of properties. I just closed on one of our IBOs bought 11 properties, and
Yes.
he didn't even use none of his credit. And people look at me like, "How are you going to get 11 properties?" And the value is like $1.8 million, and he didn't even use none of his credit. So it's just getting in the training, and another thing, we have brought the cost factor down because it was based on a single parent, both male and female, that can get in here. And then we looked at it from the standpoint of a person having a felony and going somewhere and can't get a job. No one's asking about your education. No one's asking about your credit. What we're saying is that there's different roles based on where you are that we'll take you down.
When I talk about this is fabulous information again, put this video on pause if you have to and call all who need to have this information because one of the things, and we'll go even further into this, we specifically, and this is for everyone, but most of the times it's African Americans and brown
Mhm.
people that face this because they come up with the mindset that you have to have good credit, you have to have all of these things in order, and you have to have money in order to buy a house or to buy properties, period. And so most of the time they're going without because they're waiting until or they don't believe they can. And here you come along and other people like yourself and say, yes, you can. Even with that bad credit,
Mhm.
you have, because I've sat in your class and I've watched you show the strategies
Mhm.
of how to accomplish that
Mhm.
task. Now, there's several things. Market analysis is one of the things, obviously,
Yeah.
that people would look at. So tell me, how do you identify the different markets, or is there a difference in the market where the market is high, whether it's bull, whether it's bears? Do you have any problem with that? Can you teach people through all of those things?
Mhm. Well, I'll say the market is just like the atmosphere.
Right.
The market is going to do what it wants to do. And it's just like the atmosphere. Winter don't ask us when it's going to get cold. Summer don't ask us when it's going to get hot. It just happens. So it's up to us to be able to have the knowledge how to operate in those different seasons. And it's like scripturally said, for my people are destroyed for the lack of
Lack
knowledge.
of
It's not that
knowledge.
they don't have the knowledge. It's just that the lack of knowledge. A person could walk out the house and go somewhere, but they didn't do a weather report. And it started raining. It says, I wish I would have brought my umbrella. Well,
Right.
what we do is that there's different housing markets. There's foreclosures that you can take advantage of. There's vacant houses you can take advantage of. There's REOs that you can take advantage of. And once you learn, why would a bank want to give you a discount? And we teach that, why would a mortgage company want to let you have a house at such a reduced amount? And we teach that those reasons. So now when an individual is going before a mortgage company that has a house that's about to go into foreclosure, they know that the mortgage company needs their help instead of them going to the mortgage company feeling like, that,
They're helping you.
yeah.
And that's very important because you said the major thing, lack of knowledge. And I've always learned that if you don't know the questions to ask, you can't get the answers that you need
Right.
in some cases. And that is one of those things.
Mhm.
If you don't know that if a house is foreclosed on, you're actually helping the bank, you're
Mhm.
helping these people. You
Absolutely.
don't know. And so when you come in with the attitude of, I'm here to help you, and here are the things that you need to set in place,
Mhm.
the questions you need to ask, how you need to focus and set it in place,
Yeah.
that's when you get the benefit.
And one thing that's a very valuable nugget that your people, your
Yes.
listeners need to know is that the mortgage company can't lose. They put they put a mortgage protection insurance on it that you pay for. So when the
Mm.
house is foreclosed, the mortgage company got their money. So now they go out and they foreclose the house, so they're getting money again. So it's almost impossible for a mortgage company to lose
To
money on a
lose
mortgage.
money, yes.
Yeah.
And that's the information that most people don't know.
No.
99% of the people don't have that knowledge
That's right.
that when your house is going into foreclosure, that bank, that mortgage company is getting their money because they've already had an insurance. Sometimes the one that they make you put on there too,
Oh yeah,
because they
this
make
is
you
a
put that
yeah,
insurance on there.
absolutely. You put it
Yes.
on and they compensate from it. And the other thing that the regular consumer don't know is that when they did the mortgage note, what did they do with the note? Sometimes you'll get a mortgage and you sat down at closing and this is the company that's financing it, and then 2 to 3 months later you get another letter
Yes.
saying that someone else has
Yes.
taken over the mortgage.
Yes.
Well, what just happened? Someone just bought the mortgage. They bought the note. So the money has changed around. So we go in and we teach all of those different tools so that our people are educated on it. We do, like today we was even teaching on short sales and letting the people really understand how a short sale works. Not just to go out there and do it one time, but to know why, how, and who's doing the short
The
sale.
short sale.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. And what type of financial structures do you have in place for them?
We always teach a section called Show Me the Money.
Okay.
So with the money, you have what you call traditional money
Okay.
for getting houses financed, and that's like when you're going to use the companies like Bank of America. They're traditional lending strategies. So I tell people, I says, don't get mixed up with the different people's money. That's their money and they lend it. So now traditional, you may need a 680 credit score.
Right.
You may need a 700 credit score. That's traditional and it's there. Then you have what you call institutional hard money.
Mhm.
So with institutional hard money, those are institutions that says, we're going to lend you this money for investment purposes. So now you look at it and it says, okay, it's tied in with your credit score. And believe it or not, your credit score can be as low as 500, but you got an LLC and you're using this property for investment strategies. So that's what you look at there. Now, then you go into the other realm where we're talking about private hard money. So private hard money, for the most part, is going to be based on the equity in the property.
Mm.
So with that, they're not going to look at your credit. They want to see the equity. Now, if they glance your credit, it's for credibility purposes,
Right.
just to see that you are a credible person.
Right.
The more you know, and that's the thing that we've done, we've built a rapport with all of the institutions so that when our people come to them, uh, they don't have to jump through the traditional hoops because they know we've screened them, we've taught them, and we're teaching them along that line.
Right. So that's part of assessing risk management.
Yes.
Okay. And I know about the private money, hard money lenders.
hmm
And then you called another type of hard money lender,
That's
the
institutional.
institutional hard money lenders. The institutional look at your credit as well.
But
Right.
it's based on the LLC, so
Right.
you're gonna get a lower beacon score. They're gonna work with the lower beacon score. They're
Okay.
gonna work with the beacon scores. Like you're gonna get a percentage of the money. So let's say, for instance, if your beacon score is 500, then they may lend you 60%. If your beacon score is 600, they may lend you 65%. If your beacon score is 7, that's of the loan. So based on your beacon score, you can get the money.
Right.
So there's different strategies that we teach that even if you're getting 60%, meaning that John need 40 more $1,000 on a $100,000 loan.
Right.
John done told you up front he's broke. He ain't got no
He
money.
don't have any money.
So
Yes.
I gotta create a strategy that's gonna allow John to get that property. And that's what we do.
And that's where your company comes in,
Right.
and you help the person
Yeah.
again that does not have any credit and doesn't, more than anybody else. I know there's a ton of people out there wishing and wanting and hoping, and as what's his name said, as soon as I get my money right, I'll do whatever. I'll buy the house, I'll buy.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for that.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until soon as you get your money right. Soon as you get your money right from playing the lottery. We know there's some of those people out there too, that sort of thing. So what I'm trying to share with you, and I have Mr. Freddie on here to share with you today, is that I don't care where you are in life. you're on welfare, you can come out of that by owning. It's a strategy that you would have to learn, and you would have to take the time to learn it
Mhm.
and know that you can achieve it. They've got several people that have done that and have moved themselves from out of poverty to another level of life.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things, Mr. Freddie, you told me, land is the most precious thing that you can own. You own a house, that's going to fall down, it's going to be dilapidated.
Mm.
Land doesn't go anywhere. It stays there. Unless it's one by the waterfront, then you might have some issues that might disappear from you. But when you own land, it's one of the most valuable things that people can own. And so I encourage you here in the United States, around the world, wherever you are, these strategies can work in most cases.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you all around the world? Now I'm going to say something. Mr. Freddie and I is about to take an international trip for that particular reason, so that we can go and see land and talk about the value and the things that you can do with land. Scale It Capital. Call Scale It Capital for all of your business need. Get funding in 1, 2, 3 easy step for equipment financing, working capital, term loans, invoice factoring, business line of credit, credit card processing. You can get from $5,000 to $5 million. Apply online for easy funding. Scale It Capital have the best options for your business funding. You should call them now. One of the things you taught me, Mr. Freddie, is that people say, oh, location, location, location. No, there's no such thing as location, location, location. Unless, again, we're saying if your house is about to fall over, the land is about to be eaten up by the water. But if it's land that you have and it's fertile land and it's land that's anywhere around in the world, the desert,
Hmm.
that's land.
Absolutely. That's
Las
land.
Vegas,
That's right.
right? And you told to me Disney here in Florida built on swampland.
Right. Absolutely.
Right, and brought investors. So land is land, even that swampland and that desert that you think don't have anything, as long as it's land, it has value. The time that you take to establish yourself might be different, but at the same time it is. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is the REOs and all of those different things. You work with REO, you teach them how to do every single thing and walk through that process, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So I'm back to the man that doesn't have money, or the woman. You said in one of our classes, Jane, she doesn't have money. She has a bad credit, and you showed us a perfect example. I'm back to her. When he or she comes, they're putting in sweat equity as well.
Hmm.
It's most of the times is what they're doing, and you send them out to look at the properties.
Hmm. Well, what they do is they gain a list of pre-foreclosed properties,
Right.
and the deals that once they get the deals and bring them back, the deal belongs to them.
Right.
So we're going to walk them through it. We're going to show them how to read the list. We're going to show them how to do an assessment on the property, and we're going to show them how to get the money for the property.
Right.
So we look at basically it's they're shattering myself for the most part
Right.
and
Right.
seeing exactly how to do it. And like
Right.
one of the things that I really capitalize on, I say, I don't tell you what to do. I show you what I do. And if you like what I'm doing, you can take advantage of it and I'll show you how to do it.
Right.
That
Right.
way, I take the person and put it on their shoulder.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And a few things I want to say to somebody. You've got a family member that live in that neighborhood where they said they've got a bunch of old homes. You are the perfect candidate. Isn't that so?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Because Miss Jones died and she left this house and her children is not doing, and I'm just coming up with stuff. You know all of those things about you. You know the house that nobody is buying.
Yeah.
That's the house that you're going to contact Mr. Freddie's group and say, I have a house and he's going to walk you through what to do and how to acquire that house. Because guess what? You know, all the time when you say, oh, the neighborhood is being gentrified, you can be a part of changing your neighborhood for the positive for your own self and for your neighborhood.
Yeah,
Isn't that so?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So for you, most people drive by and they see that old house or they see that piece of land and they see whatever it is. I know I'm that person. I've seen that. Oh, that place, you've seen it all the time. You can be the person doing the acquisition on that particular property and getting it and changing your life.
Absolutely.
Right. Definitely. Definitely.
And one of the things that we have done to allow people to begin to raise revenue is we're doing Airbnb partnership programs.
Yes. Yes.
We're in that, like, I have a property that's deemed for Airbnb, but I want a partnership with Miss Lewis here,
Yes.
and she comes on board with me, and we both make money off of that property, that Airbnb project. So right now, I think in our office we got probably about 5 of them that we can partnership with people on
Right.
and help them to get started. Now, the main thing we look at with the IBO program is we're helping you build this and make money, but we ask you to manage it properly. You don't have to run to the mall right away. Just kind of let it make money for you. And on the second spiel, go to the mall, give yourself whatever you want to do. Those are some of the things that we do. Buying a new car, we just say, just wait a few years. You just made $10,000, $20,000, and you want to go out and buy the new car. Just hold off for a minute and put it into your next investment and let it grow, and then you can go buy the car cash or get the type of car you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we work on. It's more or less like a holistic community in the business arena. We're not just locked into one, and we're consistently bringing people in that know more than what we know. So we're not sitting there thinking we're the Howard University. We're saying everybody that got some knowledge to help our team grow and help our people grow, we consistently invite them to come in.
Yes, yes. And you said something, and you have several strategies in place to help the underperforming assets. And you mentioned one of them was Airbnb.
Mhm.
What are the other things that people can do if they got a property and they can't sell it right away? What
Mhm.
are some of the other things that they can do while they're holding that property?
Well,
Yes.
the Airbnb is a good tool for them to use because it well, with our company, we have a contracting company that handles the marketing, it handles the maintenance, it handle all of the finances, and with our properties, all they do is send us a check once a month, and they do all the booking. So I had one that I just started, and it was booked for 31 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody came in and wanted it for 31 days.
31 days, and it was booked. We started it, and that one got booked within 48 hours.
Wow.
And then I have another one of our IBOs. He took one of his properties, and he was absolutely blown away. But he talked to the people that morning, and at 1 o'clock that afternoon, they said they had someone coming to book his property, and it's been booked for the last 45 days. So that's one of the things that we do. And we are connected also with solar too, because some people have pre existing homes. Now, what I try to share with people all the time is that we're not trying to be vultures out there taking the people's homes. If I can go into a person's home and get it refinanced and help them out of a situation, a poisonous situation that they're in, absolutely, I'm trying to do that. If we want to bring them on board and get them trained where they can say, well, hey, I was about to lose my home when I got here, but now I'm in the housing business myself, property
Yeah.
acquisition business. So
Yeah.
we work that from that standpoint. So it's different tools that we use. And like I spoke about the car industry, we have our Ybor City Motor Cars, which is a component where we got connection with over 100 auctions, and we just sit online. Whatever our client wants, we can get them financed and we can get the car. So we have a holistic, kind of like a Black Wall Street thing
Yes.
going on here,
Yes. Yes.
where they
Yes.
can take advantage of it. But
Yes.
all at the same time, we want to keep in the forefront learning, teaching, understanding, knowing what you're doing, not just consumer, consumer, consumer.
Consumer. And that's why you said the first thing. When you make your first bunch of money, most people are like, oh, I made some money. I'm going to go buy a new car. I'm going to go. Now they're going to Gucci down and
Mhm.
all the different things that people do. Your advice to them is to hold off. Don't run to the mall.
Yeah,
Take that money, reinvest back,
yeah,
and then get yourself to the next level. But
absolutely.
you'll get to spending soon. So you'll get to where you can spend,
Yeah.
but at least take your time and
Mhm.
get there. You were broke before and didn't have anything. So what's the difference now if you wait a few weeks or a few extra months in
Yeah.
order to be able to do what the things that you want to do? That is so interesting because one of the things I know you started sharing the success stories
Mhm.
of some of your people. Do you have some more success stories to share with us? You talked about the people with the Airbnb getting it.
Mhm.
Um, and before I ask you that, I want to say, I know you showed me where people can do Airbnb and they can take a tool shed
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
do that, right?
Yes, yes.
You've got success stories with those things. Give
Mhm.
me some more success stories about people, including yourself,
Mhm.
that have done some things that are amazing because somebody out there needs to know that this is real. It's not
Mhm.
a joke.
Mhm.
I am doing it, guys. I just want you to know I'm doing it because I want to make sure my finances move to the next level. Yes.
Well, I have friends that have taken a tool shed and turned the tool shed in just such a beautiful home. I wish that we had discussed that before the show. I could have let him just
No, I'm
shoot.
I'm I'm gonna show you. You showed me one, and I'll show it right now
Okay.
of what's going on in that tool shed. You've got that, and we'll show that right now.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
absolutely.
yes. So
So,
tell us a little bit about this tool shed that we're watching at.
okay, this particular tool shed was just a storage shed. I didn't even have it organized or anything. So one of my partners came over and he says, "Man, you can be renting this out." And I said, "You don't have to tell me twice." So I started remodeling, took everything out, and we came in and put a bathroom in it, put a kitchen, shower, everything in it, and we're renting it out. And like I think the high side on it now, they told me the person that's renting it out now is renting for like $150 a day.
Wow.
Like you got to understand now, this tool shed was sitting there and I was paying taxes on this land and it
Yes.
was zero. So if I got $150 one time, I was shouting hallelujah. When he's
Yes.
telling me $150, this lady rented it for what? 14, 11 days at $150 a day.
$150.
So that's just a tool shed. I got another one of my partners. He takes these crates, that these storage crates that they
Yes, yes,
they
yes,
get. He
yes.
take the storage crates and he just turns them into fabulous homes. And I think he has about at least 10 of them.
Wow.
So he just took the crates and
And he
made
rents that out as Airbnb.
Airbnbs. Yes, yes, yes. He's earning a nice little chunk, a little spare 25 grand a month.
Yes, putting extra
So
money in your pocket.
yeah,
And
so
how many of you guys have that? People that own homes right now that have
mhm.
a good sized backyard, have a shed in there,
Mm,
and they're not doing anything with it, or have land that they can do something with
yeah,
it.
and
Yes.
then it's they passed new laws with additional dwelling units too. You can put them in the back of your home.
Yes.
So it's different things that are there that can help you generate additional income.
Income,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. That.
And
What are the?
go
No,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
What are the lessons that you learned from investing? What things that you didn't know, but now that you started investing, what are those lessons and experiences that you've learned?
The main experience that I've learned is that procrastination is the thief of blessings. People have told me things, and sometimes I say, "Well, let me see, or let me wait," and I just missed a lot of money by waiting. So I have learned that the quicker you make a decision, and the longer you stay with it, the better off you are. But for the long term, that the poor people, it takes them a long time to make a decision, and they're quickly to give up on it. I took one property that it took me 20 months to get that property.
Yes.
Yeah, but I stayed in there. I was patient, and then when it got to the point that it was just out of my mentality to reach, I just looked up at the sky and said, "God, you got to really take over." And He said, "Well, I really had it all the time."
He had it. He did. He had it all the
So,
time.
but
Yes.
I
Yes.
said,
Yes.
"Well, you got to have it absolutely." And He gave me a word, and and that's another term I use. That says,
Yes.
if you're not doing the ridiculous, you're never going to experience the
The
miraculous.
miraculous.
And
Wow.
I even look at the studio. I walked around the studio that we're in, and I see
Yes.
what the young man is doing, and
Yes.
it's just like I get chill bumps. He just explaining it to me, and I'm around here just blown away,
Yes.
as
Yes.
to
Yes.
what he's done with the studio.
Yes.
It's just beautiful. And then to be able to be on this show, I just met you over at the chamber, and
Yes.
now I'm
Yes.
on the
Yes.
show.
Yes.
So just in that is some of the greater tools that I've learned, and then to be able to take the properties and I'm still in a building mode. And even from me as an Afrocentric standpoint, understanding the power of why we need to own real estate. Won't share it on this show, but we get kind of deep in understanding that,
Yes, you
because
gave me that education. Yes.
yeah, so it's very important, uh, keeping our boys out of prison is very important.
Yes.
Showing them how to get real estate
Yes.
and stay out of prison is very important. And we go
Yes.
deep into that. I have had a chance to minister in pretty much most of the prisons here in the state of Florida.
Okay.
So that's a great tool, and letting them know that because you got a felony, don't mean that the felony have you.
Have you? You
You know,
can rise above
you
that.
can go above it.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
saying that I'm not giving you a reason to go out there and do something
Yes.
that's foolish enough to cause you to get a
To go
felony.
there. But
But you can rise above it, and then you can put yourself in a preventative state that you can help other young boys from doing the same thing that you've done, and
yes.
showing them a positive way of doing it. And that's the thing about with real estate. In all of my strategies, I got into real estate, so yes, I could educate a lot of my people, and I educated both from all genders, all races,
Always.
and then I wanted to be able to do it effectively.
Of course, for you, collaboration is everything when you're doing investments.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend for someone who is a single IBO collaborate with several others if there's a big pie, for example, a commercial building
Mm-hmm.
or that sort of? Would you recommend that they do that, join forces with people?
Yeah, based on selection.
Okay,
Selection is very important, and I would ask them to make sure they have the right people
right.
in their corner. Because if you don't, and then I try to make sure that the IBO can handle the deal by themselves if the people they selected with flew away.
Oh, okay.
That's one
Yes.
of the main things that I try to do. And then we teach on what we call in Stephen Covey's book is dependent, where you depend on other people, and then independent, and then interdependence.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like when the Bible says one can put 1,000 flight, two can put 10,000. So that's talking interdependent. When those two independent people come together, then they can put 10,000 to flight.
Infinity Aero Club of Tampa. And when I tell you, if you're looking for a flying club locally here in the Tampa area, it's Infinity Aero Club. They do from STEM programs, anything that you can think about. If your children are interested in learning anything in the aviation industry, Infinity Aero Club is the place to be and the club to call. And the one thing I like about them is literally they care about the children and they care about the people. Don't miss it. Call Infinity Aero Club for your children. Thank you so much, Mr. Freddie. I know you talked about the solar, and that's another area that
Mhm.
people can get into.
Mhm.
Give us a quick little bit about that, and then we'll talk about how people can get a hold of you because that's very important. After we finish sharing all of this information, you must know how you can get a hold of him. So tell us a little bit about solar and the benefits of solar, as a matter of fact, and
Well,
then we'll move into how they can get a hold of you.
Well, the main thing that we look at from solar is not just making you a consumer, making you a business owner. So it really costs you nothing. The company sets you up. You got your own website. You're able to produce the product. So there's no cost to you. The benefit of solar is that it's almost like the typewriter and the keyboard, the computer. You ask some of the younger people now, what is a typewriter? They don't even know what a typewriter is. So when we're talking about solar energy in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, solar is going to have a great part in how we do it. You can go. I'm in South Hillsborough. You can look at Tico. They bought acres and acres, and they got
Acres.
solar panels out there
Yes.
and producing electricity. So why not you do that at your own home? All you gotta do is look
Yes.
at success and copy it,
And copy it.
and that's
Yes.
what's happening. So TICO is making money off of it, so we're showing you how to make money off of solar. What is your investment to own your own distributorship? Zero. Most people can afford zero.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
know,
I know a lot of people.
yeah.
The homeless guy in the corner can afford zero.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
got your own distributorship. And when has anybody ever given out a distributorship for nothing?
But nothing. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so that's one of the things that we really encourage them to do. And all you have to do is do a referral. You can just say, well, hey, do you have solar on your home? Person says no, but I've been interested in getting it. All they do is grab a light bill, send it in, and we take care of the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have you contact Mr. Freddie to find out a little bit more about that type of information. And one of the things I want to say today, I am very happy to have Mr. Freddie here on the show because I know that somebody needed to hear that information to make a difference in your life. You were thinking about it. I want to buy a home. I want to get some land. I want to do this, but you needed that extra push in order to do that.
Mm.
And here it is. Somebody is telling you that it can be done. Mr. Freddie, how can they get a hold of you and your fantastic company with solar and with everything? How can they get a hold of you?
Okay, the name of our company is Golden Star International Group
Okay.
LLC. We're based in Ybor City. The address there is 2002 East 5th Avenue, and we're in Suite 107. That's Tampa, Florida, 33605. Our contact number is area code 863 712 2424. Our office number is 813 770 8813.
Well, Mr. Freddie, I thank you so much for taking the time to speak to my audience and to speak to me and educating them on the things that can vastly change your life. Okay. So listen, I'm coming back next week with a superb guest. I want you guys to tune in. Take this particular one and share it with your family. Remember, you need to subscribe. You need to get on the June Ann Lewis show. It's on YouTube. It's on June Ann G. Lewis, but you'll see all of that at the bottom and you connect with us because my goal is to change your life. My goal is to change my life, but in me changing my life, I will change your life too. Remember, living wealthy always is a mindset. And when I say it's a mindset, Mr. Freddie just talked about something important. You have to change your mindset. Don't think about how much money you have in your pocket and what you don't have. Think about what you're looking to acquire. You just found out that you didn't even need good credit and money in order to be able to invest in property and buy land. Take advantage of that. I'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye. Be good to yourself and remember to share this. Bye-bye.